Hi, this is Cheryl Metcalf. I've been telling my story, and my story includes a lot of going through trauma and painful things. Things that have shaped me, who I am, how I respond to life. And I'll tell you something I'm finding out. It takes guts and courage to tell your story when it involves a lot of trauma and a lot of heartache. And some of that can include having made bad decisions in your life and being willing to be vulnerable. Social media was used to say, I lack empathy, and to encourage me of being cold, heartless. Were they able to empathize with why I got that way? Or how? Why? Were they able to empathize with why I went numb? Or with why I got completely overwhelmed? Just too much to process, too much to think about, too much stress, too much anxiety, too much pain. Couldn't process all that, so went numb. Because that's not just how I might go numb. That's how anyone can go numb. Anyone can go numb. Don't assume that can't happen to you. And being numb has its ups and downs. It's not great if you want to maintain a relationship with somebody and you actually want to maintain one and they need empathy from you and it drives the person away. Then that's not so great for numb. But it's fantastic when somebody's been horrible to you and all of a sudden you feel detached from them. You don't feel connected to them anymore, or they're suddenly this afterthought, or maybe they stop being a thought. That's kind of wonderful. Like, it feels good. When they've treated you badly and they're an afterthought, yeah, it's nice. It really is. But the thing about me going numb is it felt weird at first because I'm normally an empath. I'm used to taking on people's physical and emotional pain and feeling their emotions as if they were my own and being that connected to them, that I feel like I'm responsible for them. And so when I went numb, at first it felt foreign, even though being an empath wasn't exactly always comfortable. I was still used to knowing that I could be like that and that I had the ability. And then when I went numb, it took a little bit to get used to the idea that, hey, I'm numb. This is what's going on with me. And then when I did, oh my God, I loved it. I had a love affair with being numb. It was delightful. It was like, ooh. Yeah, feeling detached from people who just weren't good for me was just really nice. And then when I went numb, online people said, well, I didn't have empathy, or that I was cold, or that I was whatever. And it was the same people who I think had deliberately set out to hurt me in the first place. And so, oh well. And then after I went numb for a little bit, then my eyes started activating and I started picking up on things in another way. It woke up. So some other ability woke up through a different means. So you never know with these things. You never know. But that's not always comfortable either, because if somebody's talking about negatively about me, I'll feel it in my right eye and it'll feel like an itchy, uncomfortable sensation. Like, I'll know about it if somebody doesn't like me, and that's not always the most fun feeling to know if somebody doesn't like you. I mean, yeah, it may be helpful to know that to try to prevent somebody from doing something to hurt you if you can. But then, like, do you know who it is that's doing the talking? And it's like, I don't always even know who's doing the talking. But anyway, so yeah, I started out talking about trauma and I'm still going on about it, I guess. And but what I want to say to you, if you were undergoing a trauma, is that yeah, it does take courage to talk about trauma and things that happen where you're being vulnerable. And not everybody's going to be able to handle hearing about it or want to. And then some people will. And it takes guts to find the ones that will. But don't give up on finding the ones that will. And also don't be afraid to tell social media when they're being screwballs. This is Cheryl Metcalf speaking.